Buenos días. Good morning. Bienvenidos a la Congregación Unitariana Universalista de Asheville. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Asheville. Esta mañana vamos a explorar cómo podemos mantener la visión de posibilidad cuando las narrativas se rompen. This morning we are going to explore how we are able to embrace possibility in times when narratives are shattered. Soy la reverenda Claudia Jiménez, ministra de la fe. I'm Reverend Claudia Jiménez, minister of faith formation here at UU Asheville. Queremos que sepan, we want you to know, que quien quiera que seas, whoever you are, a quien quiera que ames, whoever you love, venga de donde venga, wherever you come from, estés donde estés en el viaje de explorar quién eres, wherever you are, on the journey of becoming who you are meant to be, eres valioso y digne de amor. You are valuable and worthy of love. Eres bienvenida aquí. You are welcome here. And this morning, I am very grateful for our worship team. We have Simon Jacob at AV. We have Steve Lapointe at the piano. And we have Stef Garvin, who is our worship associate. And we are welcome for everybody, the greeters, the baristas, the safety team, all of the people that keep this place buzzing. And speaking of buzzing, please make sure that you silence your devices so that we can all be present to the gift of our centering music.
Good morning, everyone. Our chalice lighter this morning is Elliot. Excellent. Every Sunday when we gather, we light the chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist flame. This morning's chalice reading is by Reverend Michelle Collins. This flame burns for what might be, for hands that help us up and point to the rising sun, for hearts that whisper, what if? For dreams that blanket our imaginations with what might be. May our chalice shine light for our work of becoming.
And now, as we gather in worship, I want to take a point of privilege and congratulate Bernice and her beloved for how many years is it, Bernice? 44 years of stick-to-itness. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now we can sing. Please rise in body or spirit. Hymn number 347. The words are on the screens. So our wisdom story this morning is actually a story about our congregation, something that our congregation does. And it aligns with our theme today, which is to embrace possibility. Does anybody know what that word means, embrace? Embrace? Anybody? Embrace could be to hug a person, or embrace could be to welcome an idea, right? To embrace an idea. And how about possibility? What does the word possibility mean? Any ideas? Potential, that it can happen. So today the adults are talking about embracing possibility, hugging it, accepting it in their minds, and thinking that things can happen. And so we have a story from our congregation where we as a congregation embraced possibility and chose to do a thing. And that thing is sponsor a beloved pantry. Who knows what a beloved pantry is? I see a few hands. Do you know what the beloved pantry is?
I know what beloved is.
You know what beloved is? Tell us what beloved is.
Like there's these two people
Okay?
that they're like make food baskets and they like give food to people who lost their houses in the hurricane.
Okay, so people that give food and support people who lost their houses during the hurricane. And in fact, that is something that our partner Beloved does in the community. And about 5 years ago, they reached out to me as your justice lead, and they asked if our congregation was interested in learning about Beloved Village, which is they built these tiny homes to support people living in homelessness. But the ask of us was if we wanted to sponsor a Beloved pantry. Have any of you put food in a Beloved pantry that's on Charlotte Street? I see some of you raise your hands. Yes, that is something that our congregation said yes to. They embraced that possibility of supporting our friends living in homelessness. And among the people that did this were Anita Feldman, who I think is here, and Jim Gamble, who continue to coordinate over 50 people so that every day of the month, someone has made sure that with the generosity of your donations and donations from the community, that pantry has food and toiletries for people living in homelessness. And so today, we have a short video about some of the work that they are doing and ways in which they have expanded this very important ministry of our congregation. And for our families with littles, we encourage you, sometimes in RE, in our faith formation classes, we take a day, a Sunday, and bring stuff to the pantry. So if you have an opportunity to do that, I encourage you to do that, or just stop by and check out the pantry with your children and tell them a little bit about it. So we have a video that has been created to update us on what the Beloved Pantry team is doing. They're part of economic justice.
Hello, I am Carol Knipe.
I am Jim Gamble.
And I am Anita Feldman. For the last 4 years, we, along with 55 volunteers, have kept the UU beloved Charlotte Street Pantry filled.
Every year, around the holidays, we sponsor a multi-generational gift wrapping party. We load the pantry with wrapped gifts to spread holiday cheer.
Absolutely. Once a month, we tackle this curriculum.
Okay. Are you going to go that way? Okay. And now you're going to go that way. All right. This holiday season, we also held successful winter and baby formula supply drives for Beloved, Asheville Survival Program, and Babies Need Bottoms.
The youth volunteered in January at Saturday Sanctuary at the First Presbyterian Church, a program Economic Justice promotes that provides meals and fellowship to the community.
Here are Jack and Ford Fleming talking about their experience.
My favorite part about volunteering at Saturday Sanctuary was getting to provide a warm and dry place for those in need on a rainy day. We were also surprised by how much fun we had getting to know those who we were serving. Some were even curious about the UU faith.
To volunteer with Economic Justice, email Anita Feldman or Jim Gamble.
Yay! So this is super important because in these times when there is so much going on and it seems like we can't do enough, It's okay to choose the one thing that you are going to do and support and do it. And so this is one way that we have chosen in this congregation to push back against the injustice that leads to our neighbors having to live on the streets because they may not have the services or the type of jobs that offer a living wage so that they can be housed. So we are deeply grateful for the members of this congregation and the community that make this happen. And now we are going to sing our children out to their classes because we are blessed with an amazing faith formation program. If you are visiting us for the first time, you are welcome to go out to Sandberg Hall across the way and meet the teachers and figure out where to pick up your kids. If you are visiting and would like to stay here, this is your space right here. You can sit anywhere you want. You have some choice here. You can stay here too. You are welcome to join as you are willing and able. So now let us sing our children to their classes. And I always like to invite you to look around the room and look at all the space, right? This place is full when we begin worship, and it slowly empties, not only with children going forth to experience faith formation, but with adults who are willing to accompany them on their spiritual journey. And for that, we are deeply grateful. So every time we gather, we create a space to honor the fact that we come on Sunday mornings with hearts that may have experienced joy and or sorrow since we last were together. So we have this ritual of the stones and water that invites you to place a stone in the water for any joy or sorrow in your heart. And we precede that with a time of prayer or meditation and a reading. And this morning, our reading is actually a prayer written by Reverend Sarah Lawal. So I invite you to just take a few breaths and ground yourself, feel the floor beneath your feet, and either close your eyes or lower your gaze. And let us create this space to listen to what is held silently in our hearts. Spirit of life and love within us and around us, we recognize we are called together by love, a love deep enough to hold our joys and sorrows, our pain and loss, our doubts and fears. A love strong enough to steady us in the thresholds of life, awaiting the next blessing. May we find the courage to persevere in the storm, to see the holy and the broken, and to stay present to life. When the pull to disappear takes hold with all its harsh realities, may we conjure up that fierce love to bring our hopeful vision into being. Discovering the humanity, bravery, goodness still calling us forth. May we breathe into that story and make it come alive. May we be vessels of comfort and compassion. May we be vessels of peace and justice. May we be vessels of hope and healing. And may love prevail. In the name of all that is holy, we pray. Let us share a moment of silence. And so now is the time when we prepare for our ritual. We add salt to this water to acknowledge the sorrow and the tears in our lives. And we also add petals to the water because alongside that sadness, the broken heart, the grieving heart, there is also much joy, and there is also much love. And so as we prepare for our ritual, I invite you to walk to the sides. Let's make sure this is where it needs to be. And take a stone to put into one of our vessels, and as you return, I invite you to go back through the center. And I'm inviting you into a dance because it's going to get a little crowded. So just dance with each other. And if anybody needs a hug, I'm willing to offer a hug. How about you, Stef? Are you willing to offer a hug? Yeah, we've got 2 huggers here. All right. So let us begin our ritual. If you've placed a stone for a sorrow in your life, know that this community holds you in love and care, and we have an amazing pastoral care team that is also here to support you. Do we have any members of the pastoral care team today? Hold your hands up high so people can see you. All right. And if you bring a joy, know that we also celebrate with you, and maybe we should have a joy team so we can do something about that also. We add a stone for those not with us, for those at home, and for those that have yet to find us. And we know that whether we are together or apart, this community is one, and we hold each other in heart and mind always.
This morning, with two of my children in the hospital, I bring a prayer in my heart to those who are suffering and those who are caring for those who are suffering. This reading this morning is from the essay, When the World is Burning, Stay, by Reverend Cameron Trumbull. History tells us that moments like this are not new. In the 6th century, as the Roman Empire disintegrated, Saint Benedict of Nursia did not try to save the empire. He also did not abandon the world. Instead, he gathered people into a way of life rooted in stability, shared labor, prayer, and care for the vulnerable. The monasteries that followed did not prevent collapse, but they preserved humanity within it. They became places where learning survived, where the poor were fed, where dignity was practiced when power had lost its moral compass. They did not do this by being loud or dominant. They did it by staying. This matters for us now. We are living through a time when many are tempted to withdraw, to numb themselves, or to believe that nothing they do will matter. But the Benedictine wisdom insists otherwise. It teaches that how we live in the world, in the midst of breakdown, shapes what becomes possible afterward. When we choose to stay human, when we keep telling the truth, caring for one another, protecting the vulnerable, practicing restraint instead of revenge, we become carriers of a different future, even if we never see its fullness. And now it's time for some musical reflection.
Thank you. So today we are exploring the question, how do we embrace possibility when narratives we hold deeply shatter? And they can be narratives in our own personal lives, dreams we had, expectations we had, and they can be larger narratives about what is happening around us. And that is what we will focus on this morning. Because we live in a time when many things we believed about our country and governance have simply shattered. As we explore our response to this reality, I'm going to invite us to review some of the history we may or may not have learned. How many of you recall learning about the Lewis and Clark expedition? Ooh, awesome. All right, so I'm just going to do a little quick synopsis. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark traveled over a period of almost 2.5 years from St. Louis, Missouri to the Pacific Ocean and back in the early 1800s. Today, that is approximately a 10-hour round-trip flight, and for those of you who are walkers, it was approximately 8,000 miles. And this is in the 1800s, without reliable maps, technology, gear, and supplies that modern explorers have access to. President Thomas Jefferson commissioned Lewis to lead an expedition to explore the territory acquired after the blank. Who remembers what that was? The Louisiana Purchase. Lewis chose a close Army friend, Clark, as his equal in command. Among several objectives of the expedition, Jefferson hoped they would locate the Northwest Passage, a presumed water route that many believed would connect the Mississippi River with the Pacific Ocean. Lewis and Clark were to discover, after 15 months of going upstream, hauling canoes they assumed they would need, that there was no Northwest Passage. Instead, they faced the Rocky Mountains that stretched for miles and silently refuted their assumptions. Their narrative was shattered. There was no brief portage to reach the Columbia River and canoe to the Pacific. They had to rethink their plans and reframe the expedition. The goal of reaching the Pacific was still before them, just not how they imagined it would be. They regrouped and planned a lengthy, arduous overland route through the Rocky Mountains to reach and descend the Columbia River, and then they had to build new canoes when they did that, and then reach the Pacific Ocean. They ditched their canoes, obviously, and then they acquired horses. And they were also helped by the native peoples, and that is another sermon, so I'll invite you to explore a little bit about what happened with the native peoples. Once they reached the Pacific, they built a camp on the mouth of the Columbia River, and they spent the winter there before returning to St. Louis, where they were welcomed as heroes, and they returned with a great deal of knowledge about the new territory, its flora, its fauna, and the native peoples that live there. Now, I don't recall, and maybe it's my bad memory, which some of you are familiar with. I do not recall learning about how the belief in the Northwest Passage was foundational to their planning, or how challenging it must have been to change plans when they realized their narratives were erroneous. Somehow they continued to embrace the possibility that they would reach the Pacific. And to me, it feels like we are living a similar experience today. Every day, we hear another travesty from our president and the administration and the supporters enabling him that violates human dignity and centers greed, misinformation, and cruelty. Our institutions are being destroyed. Our country is being mismanaged. And if we are honest, many of us are struggling to maintain faith that goodness and justice might prevail. The narrative of a country where our aspirational democracy and its institutions honor the Constitution and protect the rights of the people has been shattered. The greatest fear of the authors of our Constitution is now being realized. A narcissistic, immoral president is expanding his authority, ignoring the intended co-equal branches of government, enriching himself and his cronies and his family, destroying our institutions of learning and science, creating all the conditions necessary for authoritarian fascism. Embracing possibility in this reality, because we cannot shy away from it, is challenging. And yet, Reverend Michelle Collins, one of the members of the Soul Matters team, wrote in our packet this morning, reminding us that embracing possibility is foundational to our Unitarian Universalist faith. Our UU ancestors countered the dogma of original sin with the possibility of goodness and a theology of universal salvation, which today translates to a faith grounded in love and oriented toward co-creating a world where the worth and dignity of all is honored and all can thrive. Our Unitarian Universalist ancestors responded to the belief in a fallen world and a Christianity rooted in otherworldliness with a vision of heaven here on earth that we collectively co-create with our actions and how we live our lives in the world. During this time of shattered narratives, our Unitarian Universalist faith provides spiritual grounding and community support that help us, invite us to stay present and engaged, while also creating space for joy and rest as together we face this harsh reality. Our reading this morning about how one religious community navigated the fall of the Roman Empire exemplifies what religious communities can do in this tumultuous time. As you heard, St. Benedict of Nursia did not try to save the empire. He also did not abandon the world. Instead, he gathered people into a way of life rooted in stability, shared labor, prayer, and care for the vulnerable. And those monasteries that arose became places that preserved human dignity. Because we have to be careful in these times that we lose sight of each other's dignity in our frustration and anger with what we are seeing happen. How do we maintain our humanity? How do we continue to live into our values as Unitarian Universalists when so much has been shattered? But these monasteries managed to preserve humanity within it. They became places where learning survived, where the poor were fed, where dignity was practiced when power had lost its moral compass. I believe that is our call today, to create and nurture spaces where we remain grounded in our values, where we continue learning together, especially in a time when the history of our country is being rewritten before our eyes. This is a time where this community allows us to care for each other and discern what our call is in this moment. Management consultant and author Margaret Wheatley calls these spaces islands of sanity. Places where generosity, creativity, and kindness are awakened and restored. She defines sanity as having an honest relationship with reality, not shying from it, not ignoring it, but having an honest relationship with reality that allows us to witness what is happening and discern which actions might be useful. Sanity creates possibilities, she writes. Being grounded, and this is something that really speaks to me, being grounded in reality allows us to choose how we respond from consciousness and not fear. Because fear can take us to ugly, hateful places. And even if our actions fail, because sometimes they will and we need to persevere, just by acting, we are more aware, we are more discerning, and because we do not act alone, we act in community, we continue to support each other in exploring a way forward. Wheatley uses the word island, inviting us to visualize these spaces that help us to preserve humanity and stay grounded in love. In fact, she is not writing about a physical island, but about an orientation, a commitment, an aspiration to exploring the possibility of the work we can do in community to address the challenges we face. It allows us to amplify our power because we have power even though sometimes we feel like we don't. We have power, the power of how we live our lives, the power of how we use our voices, the power of how we spend our money. We have power. Now, our UU Asheville community is exploring what it looks for us in this moment to engage. You heard a little bit of the story of the beloved pantry. That's one way that we engage. We are all paying attention to the horrors of what is happening with our immigrant neighbors, and we're participating with faith communities for immigration justice to explore what support looks like now that ICE is kind of underground. These detentions continue all over the country, but they're not making a show of it to scare us like they used to. So it's still happening, and we need to explore what is our response to that. And also, as we are seeing how the administration is trying to limit access to the vote, we are tuning in to our denomination's UU the Vote initiative to protect democracy and get out the vote. In fact, this year's program was launched recently via Zoom on March 25th, and the theme was Igniting Solidarity, Reimagining Democracy. And if you are interested in being part of the people throughout the country that are wanting to ignite solidarity and imagine what democracy can really be like, we invite you to join with UU the Vote, because we are amplifying our voices. Right now, we're a team of 4. But you know what? It doesn't matter. That's my philosophy. It doesn't matter because we don't do this alone. We have 4 people here at UU Asheville doing UU the Vote, and we have about 20 or 25 people with Interfaith Action Network that are also concerned, and we have a whole bunch of people with the Western North Carolina Votes Coalition that we are partners with, and that's a lot of people, and they have access to a lot of people. We also partner with Good Trouble, Western North Carolina, and they also have a lot of people. So it could be 4 of us. It'd be nice if there were more. But we are doing what we can, and we are always grateful when we do postcarding, when we talk about canvassing, and we get the word out here in the congregation. You all show up. And so I know not everybody wants to go to meetings, not everybody wants to be on the committee, not everybody wants to be the leader. However, a lot of us want to participate. So again, it's how you are able to participate. Are you able to be part of the planning team? That might not be your jam, as Kim Collins says, but you can show up for whatever actions are done. And so those are ways that we participate. And one of the things that resonated with me when the UUA organizer, Nicole Presley, spoke were the following words. She said, I don't know about you, but I believe we, meaning people of faith, we've been playing too small. I believe that faith has something to say about these times. And I'm going to interject there. We're not talking about white Christian nationalism. We are talking about people of faith that are way more than those people that would align themselves with the fascist. And we have power, and we have voices, and we need to use them. So I think that's what she was talking about. Anyway, she says, I believe that faith has something to say about these times. We have that spiritual anchor that says something different is possible. A new world is possible. And I think, she writes, I think it's going to be people of faith who move us across the finish line. Beloveds, we have work to do. And I hope that we embrace this possibility she speaks of in our lives and in how we choose to engage so a more just world can emerge from our collective efforts. I close with these words from Rebecca Solnit. Inside the word emergency is emerge. From an emergency, new things come forth. The old certainties are crumbling fast, but danger and possibility are sisters. So may we move forward in this time of shattering of deeply held narratives, embracing the possibility of a more just world, because that danger calls forth the sister of possibility. May we maintain our humanity and live into our values grounded in love and in reality, no matter how harsh it may be. And in doing so, may we be open to the beauty and joy found in the world, because in the midst of all this horror we are living, we have each other. The world is beautiful, the spring is here, the sun is out, the flowers are blooming. Even as we disrespect the earth, it manages to come back cyclically every time. And what can we be doing to care for that beauty that brings us so much joy in these times? And lastly, may we be sustained by the people in this community and all of the different communities that we are a part of. Certainties have been shattered, but history has shown us time and time again that love can prevail. So as we approach our week, approach the days before us, let us remember that we do not do this work alone, that we need to face the reality before us and find within us that which breaks our heart, that we are willing to fight for. And may we each do that with joy and with grace and creativity and kindness. May it be so, beloveds. And with that said, our hymn this morning, which I think you will appreciate, is Building a New Way as we embrace possibility. Please rise in body or spirit.
Well, now it is my pleasure to open the floor and collectively, as we open our hearts, to introduce and recognize our visitors. Our usher, so if you're a visitor, please stand. And our ushers will bring a mic to you so that you can introduce yourself and share a little bit about who you are.
Okay. My name is Gretchen Dixon. This is my family, my son Ollie, my husband Taze, and we live here in Leicester.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Christina with a K, and I think this is my second or third time here. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Kate Ramos. I'm from the Unitarian Universalist Church of Delaware County in Media, Pennsylvania.
Welcome.
Lee Mitchell from Media, Pennsylvania. Lori Rice Spring, same congregation. We're here visiting Jody Malloy.
And Jane Seeloss.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Devin Kelly. I live in Asheville with my family, and some of us came today for the first time. And
Hello, my name is James Kelly. This is my first time here, and I'm thinking I'm having a pretty good time.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hi, y'all. I'm Sarah Stone. I moved here 3 weeks ago from Austin, Texas, and today is my second time.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Ann Leno. This is my wife, Cindy, and we've been traveling the country for the last 8 months, and on Sundays, if we find a UU congregation, we seek out our people.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Halima. I've been in Asheville for about a year, but it's my first time.
Welcome.
Guess I'm the last one. My name is Craig Wilmington. I'm from Weaverville, and this is my first visit to any UU, and to this congregation. So.
Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Jim Musselwhite, and I'm Mame Fleming's father, and Ford and Jack's grandpa. We've been here, I'm here with Jane Davenport. We drove up from Brevard this morning, and it's good to be with you again. We've been here before. It's been a while, though, and glad to be back.
Welcome. All right. I don't see Trevor in here, do I? Anyway, there's Trevor up on the screen. After the service, make sure to look for Trevor, our connections coordinator. Okay, don't look for him afterwards. But look for him the next time he is here. And in the meantime, you can introduce yourself to the folks at the welcome table, who will also be happy to connect you. Our announcements run as slides at the beginning of the service. If you missed them, refer to Thursday's weekly e-news, as everything is described there. And if you don't receive the e-news, email us at information@uuasheville.org, and Lauren can help. This morning we have 2 special announcements. I'm assuming don't miss a special musical offering from I'm getting all tongue-tied here. Bobby Joe Valentine, whose heartfelt songs blend storytelling, spirituality, and soul in a way that resonates deeply with our shared values. Scan the QR code on the flyers in the foyer to learn more and reserve your spot. Connie Silver and Joe Penno are selling tickets. Are either of them here or just... Our community plate recipient this month is Peace Gardens and Market. We have are we doing this short video? Okay, so we... No, okay. Nope, okay, we're not doing the short video. Okay, anyway. You can donate to our community plate partner by check, but be sure to write community plate in the memo line. You can also donate online. The work and ministries of this congregation are entirely supported by the generosity of our members and friends. We celebrate your generosity each Sunday with music and thanks. You make us possible, and we give thanks to you. The offering will now be gratefully collected.
so I think we went straight into music to meet the moment, because when the Spirit says do, you do. And, you don't get in the way of Spirit. So, for your witness, your presence, your talents, and your generosity, we are deeply grateful. It is good to be with you today, and as we prepare to close, I want to offer you these words. No temas la agitación. Do not fear agitation, by Reverend Tania Márquez. No temas a la agitación, puesto que es el ritmo de la vida misma. Ser puesto en movimiento, incitarte. Do not fear agitation, for agitation is the rhythm of life itself, to be put into motion, to be stirred. No temas los movimientos que descentran lo que creías permanente. Llevas dentro de tu entendimiento la brújula que te muestra el camino. Do not fear the movements that decenter what you always thought permanent. You carry within the center of your understanding the compass to show you the way. Lleva contigo el amor que te sostendrá, la visión que te guiará, las relaciones con todos los seres y el mundo que te pondrán los pies sobre la tierra. Carry with you the love that will hold you, the vision that will guide you. Sorry. And the relationships to all beings and the world that will ground you. I don't know where that's coming from. I think it's Spirit. Ve en paz y con una suave agitación. Mueve a este mundo hacia el lado de amor. Go in peace and in gentle agitation, to stir this world to the side of love. Thank you for bearing with me. I don't know what that was about. And as we prepare to leave, as Mary Ann Somerville taught us, let us bless each other. Please rise in body and spirit, and let us sing together, Long Time Son. In peace, vayan en paz. Thank you. Thank you so much. I know it was hard for you, and I'm the one that ended up crying. Ave Maria.